What's up everybody, it's me Mr. Das from RRDz Music, and today in this video we are learning how to make a crazy electro house music. So without any further wasting of time, let's start the video. So let's start with the tempo. For the tempo I have 130 BPM as you can see right there, and let's start by putting in some bass notes. So for the bass I have 3 different sounds. The first one is this from Harmless, which sounds like this. This is a fat bass, and the second one is from GNS, which sounds like this. This is a sub bass, and the third one is this one chip plug from Flex. This is actually not a bass, but the way it sounds it is similar to a bass, so I used it. So this is how it sounds, and here are all the notes. So that's going to be it for the notes of the basses, and let's see the effects. For the effects I have on the first one I have nothing, also on the second one I have nothing, but it is panned 50% to the left, and the third one it's panned 50% to the right with no effects, but all of them are routed this note to this mixer channel track where I have Fruity Love filter, make this envelope as a sidechain, and I also have this Fruity Fast disc where I automated this mix value in the mix. You will know later about that in the mix. So next let's move to the chords. For the chords I have this first preset from Flex, which sounds like this. This second preset, which is from Harmless, and I also have this third block preset from Flex. So this is how they all sounds. So that's how they all sound. Now let's see the effects. For the effects of the first one, I have it on mixer channel track 26 where I have Fruity Fast disc with these settings, and Fruity Pyramid EQ to cut out some low ends which we don't actually need. Next, for the second one we have Fruity Delay with Tick Step 3, default preset and in invert mode, and I lowered the mix value of the delay. Next we have this Fruity Parametric EQ to cut out some low frequency just as previous, and this one is panned 25% to the left. The next one we have Fruity Parametric EQ and cut out some low frequencies, and this is panned 25% to the right. Now all these 3 tracks are routed to this track where I have Fruity Love filter as a sidechain, just as the bass. So that's going to be it for the chords. Next, let's move to the bells. For the bells, I have this white plug preset from Flex, which sounds like this. And here are all the notes. So that was how the bell sounds. Now let's see the effects for the bells. For the effects, I have it on Mr. Track 29, where I have parametric EQ to boost some highs and cut some lows. And I also have this fruity reverb with this particular settings, and fruity delay too with tick step 3, ping pong mode, and lower the value. And I also have this second fruity parametric EQ with this radio preset, which you can find right here, mastering. Click onto the radio preset, and now I automated the mix value of the fruity parametric EQ. So that's going to be it for the bells. Next, let's see the ARP. So for the ARP, I have these 3 different presets. First one is this complex, which sounds like this. The second one is this, and the third one is this. So here are all the notes for the ARP. So I basically copied all the root notes of the bass and pasted on here with all of them in different octaves. For the first one, I have this higher octave. For the second one, the mid one, the E5 one, and for the second one, I have it on lower octave. So let's see the effects of the ARP. For the effects of the first one, I have nothing on it. Also for the second one, nothing, and also for the third one, I have nothing. But all of them are routed to this track, where I have fruity reverb with these settings, fruity parametric EQ to cut out some low frequencies. Also a second fruity parametric EQ to cut out some harsh frequencies, which was poking to my ears. And I have this fruity stereo shaper to keep it kinda in the background. So that's going to be it for the ARP. Next, let's move to the drums. For the drums, I have this first kick. Let's hear that. And here are all the notes for the kick. So I added these 2 extra kicks at the beginning of the drum because it will give a nice groove to the kick. Next, let's move to the clap. For the clap, I have 2 different sounds. That was the first one, and this is the second one. Next, we have some hi-hat. I have 2 different close hi-hat. This is the first one. And this is the second one. We also have an open hat. That was how it sounds. Next, we have some percussion loops. This is the first percussion loop. So this is from Cymatics, and I stretched it to my required tempo, which is 130 BPM. Next, we also have a second percussion loop. This is the one. Let's hear that. This one is also from Cymatics, and I stretched it to my required tempo. So for the drums, I also have a snare roll with this snare sound. And here are all the notes for the snare. So that was the snare roll, and that's going to be it for all the drums. Next, let's see the effects. For the effects, I'm starting with this impact, with this, and I also have the second impact, and also a third impact. Next, let's see some small risers. Also the second riser, and I also have a crest which is reversed, and this is from the stock. Next, we have some tonal risers or synth risers, so let's hear that. Now let's see some down filters. So that was how it sounds. Next we also have an uplifter. Let's hear that. We also have a second down filter, which is from my sample pack. And also the second up filter. So with that sounds, that's going to be it for all the effects and sounds. Let's see the arrangement. For the arrangement, I'm starting with this bass and chord. I'm starting with the kick pattern. And I recorded the first part of the chord and reversed this sound. I also have automation clip for the bass during the dropout section. And as the kick begins, it's the clap, and also the snare which comes right before the drop. And drop is simple. I just put some arcs with this and hi-hat, and also in the second half of the drop I put this percussion loop, the first loop which we saw earlier. And in the breakdown we have some high impacts and also the bass automation which I was talking about. It bends up at the end of a bar, of the second bar. And we have this bell, and for the bell I have this Primitive EQ mix level automation which goes with this pattern, and also some bell's volume automation which goes from lower to higher to give it kinda boosted frequency feelings. And also after the breakdown we have another drop. As previous, just like the previous one, we have this snare, and also we have the snare, but in the second drop it starts from the first percussion loop, and in the second half of the drop we have the second percussion loop which we were talking about, and also some bells. And last, at the outro, I recorded the bass, the first part of the bass, then I just lowered the volume and dragged in the audio. So that's going to be it for all the sounds and effects and arrangement. So let's see the result. thank you so much for watching my videos. Hit the like button if you like the video and subscribe for more updates. So with that said guys, see ya in the next video.